Hello, kindergarten. Today we're going to be reading chapter 3 of Lily and Miss Liberty. Chapter 3 is called 14 Crowns. Sunday morning, Lily woke up to the good smells of biscuits baking and bacon frying. She could see into the kitchen from her bed. Grandma was leaning over the stove while Mama was feeding Charlie. How will I ever earn money for Miss Liberty on Sunday? She asked herself. Hurry and get dressed, Lily, or we'll be late for church, Mama said. Lily got out of bed and began to put on her Sunday clothes. Soon after breakfast, the Laffertys headed down their block to the church on the corner. Once inside, Lily sat quietly in a pew between Mama and Grandma. Two ladies in the pew in front of her wore big flowery hats with wide brims. They blocked Lily's view. I'm glad Miss Liberty doesn't wear a big hat, Lily thought. A crown is much better. That must be why queens wear crowns instead of hats. Suddenly, Lily sat up straight. What if she could make some crowns just like the ones Miss Liberty wears? Then she could sell them to people and make money for the pedestal. But what would she make the crowns out of? And how would they fit? Lily began to wiggle impatiently. If only she could whisper her idea to Grandma. Mama put her hand on Lily's lap to quiet her. At last the service came to an end. As soon as they were on the street, Lily burst out saying, Grandma, what if I could make some crowns just like the one Miss Liberty wears and sell them? Crowns, crowns. Let me think. Grandma was quiet for a moment. Why, Lily, I think you've got a good idea. But what could we make them out of, Grandma? Grandma turned to Papa and Mama. Lily wants to make Liberty crowns and sell them for the pedestal fund. Crowns. What could she make a crown out of, Papa wondered. Something that wouldn't be too hard to cut with scissors, Mama said. Stiff, but not too stiff, Grandma added. As soon as they arrived back home, Lily went into the front room and began searching through Mama's sewing shelf for some material that might be used for Miss Liberty's crown. There were lengths of velvet and wool, cotton and linen, ribbon and yarn, but nothing seemed right. Lily sighed. I can't find anything. I know what you can make them out of, Papa said. I'll be back soon. And he left the apartment. Grandma began to sort through fabric on the shelf. She pulled out a small piece of stiff material that Mama used to make her hats. First, we need a pattern. You can make a pattern out of this piece of buckram. But how will I know how big to make the crown? Lily asked. Grandma took a piece of ribbon from her sewing basket and put it around Lily's head. That's how big you have to make the crown, Lily, she said. After you make the crown, we'll poke holes in the back and we'll attach two long strings to the holes so that the crown can be tied around anyone's head. Lily took the ribbon and laid it along the length of the buckram. Then she drew the rays that extended from the crown. And there's Grandma measuring Lily's head, so she knows how big to make the crowns. Miss Pearson told us they are supposed to be the rays of the sun shining on the 7 seas and the 7 continents of the world, Lily said. Lily had to draw the rays 4 times before they looked like the one on Miss Liberty's crown. Sometimes you have to try and try again until you get something right, Grandma said. The door opened. It was Papa. Jack Riley prints posters on this paper, he said. Jack made a present of this to you. I think it'll be just the right stiffness for your crowns, Lily. Lily looked at the big sheets of yellow paper Papa put on the kitchen table. Oh, thank you, Papa. Lily cut out a crown following the pattern she had made. After she cut it out, she poked 2 holes in the back for the string. Then she folded the rays down so that they extended out from her forehead. At last, Lily tried it on. She ran to the mirror. Yes, it did look like Miss Liberty's crown. When Grandma saw Lily, she smiled. I think people will buy your crowns. Lily and Grandma and Mama cut out crown after crown. When Lily counted them, she could hardly believe they had made so many. 14 crowns, and there were still some sheets of paper left for more crowns. "Can I sell them now?" she asked. "Wait until the afternoon. People like to take a stroll after Sunday dinner," Papa suggested. "How much will your crowns cost?" Mama asked. "Not so much that people won't buy them, and not too little so that you won't make much money for Miss Liberty," Papa said. "So how much then?" Lily asked impatiently. Grandma was listening from the bedroom. "I think 15 cents. "Oh, no!" exclaimed Mama. "That's way too much for people to pay. I think 5 cents. Lily thought about her crowns. She would never be able to buy one for 15 cents. That was a lot of money. But 5 cents seemed too little. "I think I will charge 10 cents, she said. She sprawled out on her bed with a pencil and paper and tried to think of what she could say to make people buy her crowns. She decided to write a poem. There's Lily on her bed with her crown on. And here's her poem. "Miss Liberty is sailing across the sea, a present from France to you and me. The boat that brings her will soon reach our land, but we can't see her till she has a place to stand." Lily didn't have much room left on the sheet of paper. She wrote, "Buy a crown and help pay for Miss Liberty's ped." Lily looked up. "How do you spell pedestal?" "Pedestal, Mama said. After Lily wrote pedestal, she added 10 cents. Then she'd signed her name, Lily Lafferty. "I'm finished," she said. She was ready to sell the crowns at last. Very good. That was chapter 3. Chapter 4 we'll read tomorrow. It's called Crowns for Sale.